Welcome back to the Sacking of the Puzzle Realm 2019 colorized. Oh, shit, I meant to say 2009. Whatever, we're keeping this take. So we're still in the puzzle realm. You remember that whole thing with the ice physics earlier?
Oh yeah, that's right. Those blue blocks are icy.
Yeah.
Everybody loves ice physics.
There really isn't any ice in this game, really. It's just that arbitrary bit of ice physics.
They probably just looked at the platformer handbook and realized, oh shit, we need slippery platforming.
I got you, fam.
I do like this little set piece here. It's like they wanted to give you a bit of catharsis. This is also one area where the aggressiveness of the ballerinas kind of backfires on them. Because you can lead them straight into this bottomless pit.
Ah.
Nice.
Unfortunately, there's a lot more where that came from. And this crystal can spawn either the exploding slimes or more ballerinas. Yeah, I'm going to be making quite a bit of use of the stopwatch item in this. And of course, there's no way to control what items you get. It's purely RNG.
At least they're running off the platforms, right?
Yeah.
Like,
you know, as if you haven't already gotten a good sense that this is the ice physics platform from all the hell you went through in the previous level. And already we're getting palette swap versions of the missile launcher guys.
In yet another combat gauntlet. Hooray!
You know, I really wish I'd have gotten the idea to skip parts of the combat gauntlets before, like, the last few videos. I do start, like, being a little more aggressive with my editing eventually, but we'll get through them.
That one was mercifully short, though.
yeah.
So...
Also, those moving gems going up and down, that is your safe introduction to them. And the game wastes no time playing around with that idea.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this goes by the same rule as what you saw on those other platforms before, where it will instantly kill you if you get moved upwards by them.
How did you not get hit by the ballerina at first?
If you remember the whole rule about invincibility frames while doing special attacks, I happened to be at that exact moment. Oh, also somebody's apparently controlling the top screen.
Huh. That's kind of fun, actually.
It's fun, at least for the first few parts of the set piece.
Oh yeah, I can imagine this getting real obnoxious.
I mean, it's fun. It's obnoxious, but still entertaining. Like, you know, you're having a shared laugh in the same way that you would, you know, tell each other. You're like with friends at a bar and telling each other obnoxious stories and shit talking each other. That's sort of obnoxious.
Right.
You're having a shared laugh over collective misery. I guess that's the best way I could describe the relationship that the player and the game develop over the course of many, many lives lost. It's weird to say that for a kid's game, though.
I don't know if I'd call this a kid's game. Well, I might.
Ostensibly it is, but...
It was marketed for children, which at some point... Oh, by the way, that's what happens when you're on moving platforms and you use the stopwatch. I may have to post some of the funnier commercials, because there wasn't a lot of marketing for this game, but what little there was is pretty good. There's one in particular that was only posted to their Facebook account, that was a parody of, like, Billy Mays infomercials.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
I think it would be safe to post that at this point, because I think that any of the spoilers that it has in it are past this point. Like, it's got the captain in it, that sort of thing. It's also at this point that I just decided to take the mulligan, because I already passed the checkpoint.
For how harsh this game can be, I expected the commercial parody to be, I'm Henry Hatsworth, and I'm gonna go find the gentleman's items. Only that's not actually gonna happen, because I'm gonna slip on this grease and spill this boiling hot water on myself.
Oh, no!
They're trying to sell this game, man.
Are you kidding me? I would have bought 10!
We haven't seen one of these bonus rooms in quite a while. It's much more entertaining to do them when you have the dash.
I'd say brisk, not so much entertaining.
It is oddly satisfying to pick them up when you're like spamming the right trigger while going through them.
Yeah, but I can get that enjoyment out of like Mega Man X or Mega Man Zero.
Yeah, going through these areas with the bomb is always great because you could really tell that the level design has been built around the bomb's arc.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't. I feel sorry for the poor sap who brought along the boomerang or the pea shooter to this. Oh dear, that could have been real bad.
Well, I could see the boomerang working with this. The pea shooter is also powerful enough that it can work pretty well here. But, I mean, the bomb is just so much more powerful than everything else. Like here, if you time your jumps right, or you could just burn a special for the pea shooter. Oh, I guess I should also point this out since we're in an extremely colorful level. It's also pretty impressive that, you know, despite all the use of color, etc., that if you really think about it, this game is actually pretty good handicap accessibility for those who are colorblind. Like if you look at the bottom screen here, and if you just go, imagine that I've switched the screen over to a colorblind filter. Be impressed with what you can't see. That you'll see that all the stuff on the bottom screen, all of the colors are uniquely textured. So that even if you can't see the colors properly, you can still tell what color or what unique type of tile each of them are just by the feel of the textures.
Oh, it's the same deal as like a Game Boy Tetris.
Yeah.
That's well done on their part. They put a lot of thought into the game. A shame that it brutalizes you like this so late.
Well, I guess whether or not it's a shame depends on who you are, what age you are, and your tolerance for pain. Clearly, Henry has a very high pain tolerance, judging by his, continually running into the axes of those monkey boys.
I mean, if that's what he's into, I'm not gonna judge.
He's got to have a pretty thick hide at this point, with all the practical adventuring he's been on for some 80-something years. Oh, that sounds familiar.
Hello, Weaselby.
I challenge you, Hatsworth, to a game of Crane Game! With Yakuza 1 physics! Yeah!
I am the only person in the room that did not get that reference, and I still think it's pretty funny.
He's got a hat that now sort of screws with the environment, so he kind of drops this ball here. If it hits you, it does a lot of damage, but if you manage to do enough damage to the ball, it'll hit Weaselby instead.
This feels like a Dr. Eggman mech.
Yes, this one probably more so than any of the others, especially this part.
Oh yeah, that's totally the Hydro City boss.
Yeah, Hydro City from Sonic 3, exactly.
Yeah.
very small amount of health, I gotta say. I mean, look at how much damage a single bomb is doing to him.
Yeah, that's nuts. I was gonna say, like, that thing he did at the start of the fight where he just, like, slammed down on some of the gems, like, that reminded me of, like, Starlight Zone, Dr. Eggman.
Yeah.
I think it's Starlight
Anyway,
Zone.
that was pretty easy, right? Yeah, that was a little too easy.
He just floated away. Oh no, it's Metal Hatsworth.
You were saying about Sonic. This is totally Final Zone. So this is where the real fight begins.
Yeah, this is totally an Eggman mech.
Yeah. And these saw blades are unique in that they're one of the few barriers that actually block projectiles. So
Oh, really?
they're basically one of the main tricks of this fight is basically getting yourself into a position where you can be like immediately underneath Weaselby here and just pump him full of bombs. And then, of course, you get the double saw blades. And you gotta be right in the middle of the center if you don't want to get hit.
This is almost kind of terrifying.
Oh, it is especially terrifying, yeah, because there is no checkpoint in the middle of these two phases. You gotta start at phase 1 if you die here.
Ooh. At least phase 1 is mercifully short and brisk.
Yeah, that is part of the reason why phase 1 is so short. If you like Weaselby, then World 4 is definitely for you. I'll say that much. Oh, and of course, they bring the double saw blades while you're fighting enemies. I wasn't quite in position there.
I was about to ask what that play button was.
Yep, it drops on you, and if you're not in the right position, it's pretty easy to tell which way it's gonna go, though. Just by the flashing arrow. It's kind of a design flaw.
We have not accused Weaselby of being smart.
Just think of it as like a character flaw.
Yeah. It's his equivalent of the giant ray dome.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I can't remember what that stupid line was in was retranslated to in Twin Snakes. I think they went with something like, it's not a weak point, it's a weakness, or the other way around. It was a very clumsy translation of the literal Japanese there.
You enjoy all the puzzling, that's why.
Now, if that's the Weaselby for this level, or for this world, I'd like to see what the world's boss is.
It's a pretty good boss. Also, I don't know why my Weaselby impression sounded like the Spoony one for a second. Anyway, we've maxed out our melee damage. Yay!
We are putting this kid through Cockney College.
I will admit, I had to do quite a bit of off-screen grinding for some of the later upgrades, because they're really expensive. Like, to an absurd degree. You know, we haven't had enough absurd platforming elements, so of course we're gonna have. Why am I blanking out on the term for this?
Conveyor belts.
Yeah, I swear I just lose the ability to say things.
Words are hard.
Yeah, what are words?
I mean, it's not like you have to do commentary on Let's Plays or anything. So, you know, I'm pretty safe. Dodge that bullet. This is one of my favorite songs in the soundtrack. It's that Hooray for Hollywood pastiche. I mean, the soundtrack is already great, but you saw there that the pea shooter and both the pea shooter and its special can go through walls. So I was able to destroy that crystal without it being a hassle. This is not a mandatory room, but it feels like it because you have to deal with that stupid gem door. This is one of those rooms where you probably should fight the enemies, even though I try not to. Also, I really want the boomerang here, and it's kind of a pace breaker to have to wait for the weapons to despawn. Also, I can't fire projectiles yet because that one boomerang is still on screen. God damn it, old Henry.
It just lasts forever.
Yeah. I thought that was just such a perfect representation of how cruel this game can be sometimes. And it's only with old Henry.
That's just rude.
Yeah. I was playing with young Henry, I could fire a second one, but nope.
Oh, you gotta catch it. You need to be quicker than that.
You know, there are many British stereotypes that Henry Hatsworth fits perfectly, but he does not like dealing with queues. Waiting in line is just something he doesn't like that. He hates that stereotype. He will not fill it at all. There's also this enemy. I call this one the Brainiac. He spits out these little guys, and they're basically there to be annoying and be a hassle to you. They can take up a full heart of damage. Or sorry, a half heart. I swear, I have Pat's crazy talk from Two Best Friends. Someone's gonna get that joke and they'll be happy. Not only is the Brainiac extremely annoying to fight, mainly because he has the ability to spawn these guys, but also when you kill the Brainiac, he spawns one of the most annoying monster blocks in the entire game. And I believe I show that off later in this video.
The worst part about those is they're just a little too low for the boomerang.
This is definitely one where I think the pea shooter would help the most against this enemy, because the special could clear out the little guys.
How many hit points does he have?
Too many.
Yeah, I'm at a significant disadvantage in this fight because I'm old Henry with a boomerang, so I can only fight one. Okay, so you see that block with the eye. You'll see that he has the ability to randomly turn any block within a 1 block radius around him into a monster block.
Oh.
And I will show that off in more detail later. And he also, when he reaches the top screen, he has an even more annoying attack later. But that is his biggest, dick move on the bottom screen, is that he can create other monster blocks.
Oh yeah.
And I think this is where I intended to show it off here. So there, he created a monster block on the bottom, and now he's going to create an anchor block. He can create any type of monster block, including the special ones.
Wow, that's mean.
And then when he's on the top screen, he creates more of those little fuckers until you kill him. The Brainiac is, even if he wasn't that bad to fight as a regular enemy, that monster block alone would put him on my shit list. Hey, pardon me, I was there first. Don't butt in line. Surprisingly, despite being colored the same as the other ice blocks, this is not an ice physics area.
I was wondering about that.
Yep, not ice physics.
Well, that problem took care of itself. Oh god, he's back.
I'm sure I've asked this before, but what happens if you solve a puzzle and you happen to be standing inside the block outlines?
The block just does nothing. And thankfully, it doesn't kill you or anything. But it just does not get solved. Same thing happens if anything is inside of it, including an enemy or a projectile.
Got it.
You see, you were hoping for the dick move too, right?
I don't think I'd say I was hoping for it, but I would not have been surprised by it.
You have to make that assumption.
Yeah, I mean this game already does enough the cruel things.
What's another one for the pile?
Yeah. And it still manages to have all of its cruelty and still follow many of the principles of good game design while it's at it. Which, that's probably the most impressive part of it all. This really reminds me more of the one of the last levels of the first Gex game.
Never played it.
Where Gex would constantly make references to Jane Fonda's workout tapes because he was on a conveyor belt. And he would constantly say, "Where's Jane Fonda?" was one of the main quips. Like the level-specific quips that he had. And it was unbelievably annoying, even by the standards of Gex.
I was gonna say, the bar is kind of low there for Gex.
Yeah. Somehow Gex, the 2D mascot, was even more annoying than Gex in 3D.
I believe it.
Also, I don't know what sadistic monster decided to have the player fight a Wizrobe on those conveyor belts, but I'm pretty sure that was a violation of the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they fired that guy from the studio once they realized what he'd done.
And yes, I do consider that a violation of the Geneva Convention because the player and the game are clearly at war. Oh look, it's those statues. And yes, you do have to match them all up.
Oh,
I see what they're going for here, but
yeah.
This just looks annoying.
And it doesn't lock in when you get the right one, which, to me, that's the worst part of it. If they at least locked it in when you solved the right part, that'd be a lot better. And of course, those crystals spawn the bomb keys, and if they drop a bomb, it will occasionally activate the switch. This was fun to record.
I'm actually starting to feel your pain in this part.
I'm cringing just thinking about recording this again, because I recorded most of this last year, and this has some repressed memories. Oh boy.
I don't blame you.
I have some basic plans for what I plan to LP after this, and it's going to be a game that is, I don't know about difficult, but it'll be a game that's more of a point and laugh bad game that's not especially difficult. It's just maybe mildly frustrating, but a lot of the comedy will come from the game itself rather than from the frustrating difficulty. It was nice. It was nice having this game, but I'm glad I've beaten it, and I'm glad I've beaten it once. I've shown it off. It's a great game. You should play it. But there are parts that go too far. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, oh my god, it goes way too far.
I still think this is a game that needs a re-release.
Oh, by the way, there's Robin Hood and Sherwood Forest.
Hey.
I don't know why I said Forest. This game is warping my brain. It's like they chose every British thing in the public domain and just made it a tea time, joke.
I can respect that.
Yeah, it's weirdly like the Sherlock Holmes stories are in the public domain, but Sherlock Holmes, the intellectual property character, is not. Like, if you want to make a show about Sherlock Holmes, you got to go through the Conan Doyle estate. But not if you want to just, you know, use the character as a joke or publish the stories.
Copyright law is fucking weird. And we'll just leave it at that.
Speaking of which, I have a copy of Henry Hatsworth for Nintendo DS, for anyone asking. For no particular reason. If they're asking how I recorded this, I should clarify, I do own a legal copy of this game.
I think you all know what that means. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, why would we ever doubt your perfectly legitimate DS capture card?
With save states. You know, because we all have those.
The best DS capture card. Come on now.
And with that, we will we'll kind of go next week. We will have the actual finale to all this. This is the kind of thing that I would normally split into a double update, but in this case, there's actually a fair amount going on in this update, so I want to split it off to next week, just to give everyone time to digest what happens here and not get too overwhelmed with what happens later, because there's a lot of stuff that gets introduced, as well as the end boss for World 4. So yeah, see you all in video 14 next week.
Okay.